You know, we had a day in the NFL when Zach Wilson and the Jets, down their two starting corners, went in and beat the defending NFC champions. And it wasn't even the biggest upset of the day somehow. The Jets stunned the Eagles in a 20-14. I guess we're going to call it a thriller. Locked on Jets host John Butchko joins me now. And John, this New York team should not have had a chance in this game. They were heavy underdogs in this game, and yet they found a way to win. What did this game tell you about this New York team?
You know, I don't think that this recipe is sustainable to win a lot of games. I don't think the Jets got enough out of their offense. I don't think you're going to get 4 turnovers no matter how good the defense is. And look, you got to give the Jets defense a lot of credit because, as you mentioned, they were down Sauce Gardner, they're down DJ Reed, they're down their 2 best corners, and corner is probably the biggest strength of this team. The way I look at it is, in the NFL, sometimes a couple of plays here or there can make or break your season. I've certainly seen this on the other end where there's Jets seasons that have fallen apart. You know, like maybe there's one play like in a game in October and they don't make it and they lose a game and it just kind of sends them into a tailspin from which they never recover. As I was watching this game, I said in the fourth quarter, when the Jets were behind and it looked like they were going to lose, man, this is going to be a loss you look back on and say, maybe this is the thing that sets you back. Well, it's the opposite. And now the Jets are 3-3. And, you know, even before the start of the season, this first 6 games looked like the toughest stretch on the schedule. Even when we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be the quarterback, the general consensus was, you know, if the Jets can make it through 3-3, this schedule really starts to open up. And that, if you look at the remaining teams on the schedule, that really has played out. So, you know, I don't know that this is necessarily going to be the formula for the Jets. They got to get more out of their offense. But look, this game was in front of them to be taken, and they took it. And it doesn't matter how you get the win. This win will be on the standings for the rest of the season. And now they've beaten Buffalo and Philadelphia these first 6 weeks. So yeah, I think you got to be happy with how this turned out.
Yeah, when you first started talking about sustainability, I knew the but was coming, but the whole time in my head, I'm going, who cares? You know, like in a lot of ways, it doesn't matter if this is sustainable because you're all in this season. I know they lost Aaron Rodgers, but you're still trying to maximize this season. You don't want to have those conversations. Should they trade multiple picks to go try and get a Kirk Cousins? It is worth saying they beat the Bills and the Eagles, probably 2 of the 4 best teams in the league. And Zach Wilson played all of both of those games in essence. And so is it time to recalibrate what our expectations are of a Zach Wilson-led team? Because although Zach wasn't great in this game, he also didn't kill them in this game and made a couple key throws when they needed him to.
Yeah, look, there's no question. Zach Wilson is a better quarterback this year than he was last year. Last year, we saw a quarterback who there were times I don't think Zach Wilson could get to his first read a year ago. He could do that this year, and he could sometimes get to his second read. He's a raw quarterback. I mean, look, is he at a point where you feel good about him starting games? You know, maybe not. But Jets have a really good defense. Breece Hall looks like a star running back. I mean, even in a bad game, even if by his standards, it was not a great game, he still put up 90 yards from scrimmage. Garrett Wilson is a number 1 receiver. And this defense, I mean, the Eagles left some plays on the field. But this defense went out there without their 2 best corners and, you know, gave the Eagles a lot of problems. So I think the thing you have to remember when we talk about playoff teams, you know, and I hear people talk about this all the time. They say, oh, well, the Jets have holes here and there. And, you know, they say, but you have to remember that to make the playoffs in the NFL these days, you just have to be the 7th best team in your conference. You have to be like slightly above average. You don't need to be a perfect team. And I think with the schedule, a lot of times it comes down to the schedule. A lot of the times it comes down to injury luck. And the Jets obviously have had their share of bad injury luck with losing their starting quarterback 4 plays into the season. But I look at this and I say, you know, why can't the Jets make the playoffs right now?